Windfall, wonderful audience. One of the silliest things you will ever hear is that religion is a primitive concept. That is totally absurd. And the simplest way to explain it to you is that no kids on no playground are making up religions. No child is ever, you never saw a child of any age come up with on their own a religion or a God to worship. That's absurd. And the reason why it's absurd is because religion completely takes you out of the physical and the mental realm. It's not just some explanation. Now, you've heard people who came up with, trying to explain certain things away, especially atheists and stuff like that, explaining away how the universe was created. People have come up with explanations, but it's impossible that somebody would just say, "Oh, there must be a God up there." I mean, like a bunch of people were just like, "Oh, there must be a God that created all this." That's dumb, because children don't make up their own gods. I mean, if you find a child who doesn't grow up, inside of any thing whatsoever, any culture, they never just make up something. Like, I mean, come on, because, even children who are introduced to God later on in life and stuff like that, it just makes no sense. No one just sits there and makes up a religion. People aren't even doing that today. It's pretty hard to make up a religion. I mean, it's really hard to make up a religion. And it's like, it's impossible. It's like this video is going to end quicker than I was expecting. But I mean, it's just impossible to make up. Who had the mental process to come up with all that stuff? I mean, it's all, to tell you the truth, all religions come from the spirit realm. I mean, in general, all religions come from the spirit realm. And I know people don't like to hear that. They don't want to admit it and things like that. But to tell you the truth, all religions do come from, they do all come from the spiritual realm. I'm not talking about some little thought process, where you just sit there and try to think and make yourself strong, which is basically ripped off from a religion. All that positive thinking and stuff like that. That's to make yourself, but that's ripped off from religion. But all religions come out of the spirit realm, because they all give, the serious ones have manifestation of something supernatural. And that's what people don't like and don't particularly care for. And that's where they try to pretend it's like, oh, it's just as we evolve and time progresses, we'll drop religion. No, you can't drop religion, because religion is just too advanced. I mean, there's lots and lots of study in order to, involve. People don't just, it's just like impossible. How could you say it's easy? Because, it's just absurd. It's a stretch of the imagination to pretend that religion is, just some primitive concept that everyone came up with. And now we know better. Now, I mean, the reason why I say it's impossible to come up with that it's like that is because the more science discovers things, the more they find out that, even like, for instance, the theory of, I'm not even going to get into that. But I mean, I'm not even going to get into that junk. But anyways, I'm just saying that if you stop and look how the universe is constructed, and science just gets more and more and more, is like, they come up with intelligent design and all sorts of stuff. It's just like, this is just too complicated. And so don't listen to people who want to say it, because you just can't explain how come children aren't making up their own religions. I mean, really. It does come out of the spirit realm. And of course, people don't like it, because if it comes out of the spirit realm, then that means you need to find which religion is the correct one, which is not correct, who is the real universe and supreme ruler, the thing. And it just takes too much time, because if religion was a primitive concept, then it would be easy for children to understand. But children are constantly, even the Bible says, when your children ask you, why are you doing this, you explain why you're doing this, and you have to explain it. Why? Because the children, if it was just like, oh, God's there, he's taking care of it. Well, if God was just, just how it was, and it was easy to understand, there'd be no explanation. Even Paul had explained to the Greeks, who like to hear some new thing at Mars Hill all the time. You have to explain things, just like you have to explain meeting anybody and how the world works if someone does stuff. So that's just, until you can explain that, it's illogical. It's just illogical to say religion is primitive, because it takes time to explain. Children aren't making up stuff. It's really, really complicated. Because in order to adequately satisfy somebody's intellect, you can't just do it. It just didn't evolve over time. I mean, in order to satisfy an intellect of an adult, you have to go beyond, you know. I don't think people want to admit it or anything like that. But in the end, you have to go beyond just this. Because, I mean, how to satisfy millions and millions of people? How are they satisfied with this is how life works? I mean, and how come, you know, it obviously comes out of spirit. I mean, it's just the person who says that is just a liar. Because, I mean, it takes books and books and books and books. It takes books and books and books to explain atheism. I mean, they write all these books about why the universe, the theory of evolution, all this mess about how this happened and stuff like that, which they have to keep changing and stuff like that, you know. But, you know, quit wasting time, y'all. Love y'all. Live, be.